What's up, guys? Chase Colby here. I am out in the Colby Coast studio doing a little editing of a trip that I made down to Lake Mead in middle of December, specifically targeting offshore structure with my AquaVu HD10i. Received this thing early December. Had it out several times, tested it. It is amazing. It's an amazing tool to utilize for specifically offshore structure and targeting areas for confidence, and specifically a tool to use in the off season to find offshore structure. So stay tuned. What's up, guys? Chase Colby here with AquaVu. Hey, I'm down here on Lake Mead. It's a December off season. These are the kind of days that I utilize to scout offshore structure. Spend a lot of time out here idling, checking stuff for upcoming tournaments in 2021. As everybody knows, the tournament scene is getting to the point where it's super competitive, and you've got to utilize every single tool that you possibly can to win these tournaments. Every angler that enters these tournaments are so good. They've got so many different tools now. And what I wanted to do is do a little video and show you exactly how I utilize the AquaVu underwater cameras. I view the underwater AquaVu camera very similar to a trail cam for you hunters. We spend, me as well, me included, we spend hours and hours and hours in the off season setting trail cams to look at deer and see which deer are coming in, if there's any big ones in the area. And that's exactly what I do with the AquaVu camera in the off season. Sometimes, during pre-fish of a tournament, I very rarely use the camera during a tournament, just because it does take so much more time to get the camera out and drop it. But it's no different than the time that we spend setting the trail cams that we do up in the woods, trying to kill that big monster deer. So I wanted to show you exactly how I use the AquaVu camera, and why I use it to do what I do for some of this clear water offshore structure fishing. In addition to the cameras, they make some really cool accessories, such as the troll accessory. What that is that we could be trolling along here with a Rapala or a crankbait or a flatfish for trout, even a Davis, a lot of pop gear and a worm type fishing. But anyway, what you can do is you can still utilize these cameras and hook that line hook at the end of the line, and actually have the camera pointing at your bait, and actually watch the fish and how they react to your bait, which helps you in a lot of ways pick the exact color of a flatfish, or say for trout or salmon or anything like that. You'll be able to see, even for pike. A lot of people troll for pike and tiger muskie. It kind of gives you an indication, a tool to study those fish and see exactly what bait they attack and how they attack it. Sometimes fish will just come up and kiss it, and they'll just barely get hooked. Well, that kind of gives you an indication that maybe there's not enough scent on it, or maybe it's the wrong color. And if you get watch a salmon come up and just inhale it, or a pike, that you're fishing with the right color. So there's a lot of it's a tool. It's a very entertaining tool. I personally think that it helps me educate myself on colors of bait and how fish react. And then also for offshore structure, that what we're doing today is absolute a passion of mine. It's something that I thoroughly love to do, especially when we're out here and we see a school fish and you drop it down there. You'll be able to see how they react to certain structure, and if they're moving real slow, or if they're just kind of lethargic and they're just sitting there, that you're gonna have to get a shaky head or something down there to get those fish to react. So there's just a lot of really cool things we can do. But what I'm going to show you today is actual structure. So we're we're just idling around. I'm looking for isolated rock piles. I've got a couple of marked. I've got my down scan here, I got my side scan here, I got my 2D sonar over here, and I got my map here. So we're just idling through here, kind of doing figure eights, and I've marked a couple of key spots with the side scan. Then I've went over it with the down scan, and I can't really quite tell how thick and dense the cover is. Here on the West Coast, we are not allowed to put brush piles. Everything that we fish that's offshore is natural. So what we're looking at right here, I just went over it. I'm going to show you. I can't tell exactly how dense and how thick this little patch of stick-ups is. It's in 25 feet of water, and if I personally know that is a very thick and dense pile of offshore stick-ups, I know that in the summertime, during a heavy pressure tournament, if I know exactly what that looks like, I know that I'll be able to come here in the off season and it'll be a key spot. So we're going to do a little bit of research right here. We're just coming up on it right now. Should be right here. It's in 25 feet of water. It's got just a little bit of a hump on it. So I'm picturing it, to be just like this, this little, here it is. All right, guys. We got our waypoint marked. We've seen them on the Lowrance. We know there's structure here. We got the live scope. We can see the structure right here. 40 feet of water. We got the HD10i here. We got 70 feet of cord. So we're just gonna drop this camera. This is an HD camera. It's got 3 different positions. If you wanted to look straight down on it, for example, if you thought that there was fish in it, you can lower this down and look, directly down on top of it, so you can see, stay above it if there's, depending on what the water clarity is here. This water clarity, we're probably at the surface, we're probably 8 to 10 feet. So therefore, down on the bottom, I know, just because I'm familiar with the AquaVus, I know that in 40 feet, if it's 8 feet at the surface, we're only going to have 2 to 3 feet of clarity down at 40 feet, unless the lake's turning over. So here we go. Let's drop it down. See exactly what this cover looks like. There's the treetops. See, there's a couple of. So there's our structure. There's some type of a carp or a shad milling around. How cool is that? So yeah, we're about 3 feet of clarity at the bottom. Again, guys, we're in 40 feet of water. There's a big old pile of some sort of boulders. Nah, it's just a brush pile. This is a natural brush pile. Some type of a stick up. There's a big old catfish. Look at that sucker. Big old blue cat. How cool is that? There's the base of them. We know it's sand. We know there's no rocks. So most likely in the summertime, if the fish get out here, they're going to be suspended on this stuff. We can see that the brush pile is about 10 feet tall. The trees are pretty willowy, kind of nothing that we couldn't run a crankbait down through. In the summertime, on clear water lakes like this, a lot of times these largemouth, they'll get out here when it's really windy, really ripping, really rolling, a lot of current rolling, and these fish will hang, just off the tops of these brush piles. So I know that in the summertime, when there's a lot of pressure on the bank, I know that I have a key spot right here. We are literally 400 feet off the bank. Very, very, very rare is it that anybody's going to be fishing here. Most people is going to be up on the bank. And I know that if the lake's getting a ton of pressure now, I know exactly what this brush pile looks like. For one, it gives me confidence. For two, I know exactly what it looks like a big old catfish. Look at that sucker. Nope, it's a carp. I got a little sidetracked there at the end, but what I was talking about is number one, what the AquaVu does for me. It gives me a ton of confidence in the offshore structure that I'm fishing in 35 or 40 feet of water. For two, it gives me clarification of exactly what the offshore structure looks like, so that when you're bombing your crankbait out there, you know that you're going to be able to get through it. You know that there's going to be fish on it. You know exactly what the offshore structure looks like, and it just gives you that competitive advantage that you need to win these tournaments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Send us some comments, reviews. Let us know what it is that you want to see. And if you want to go check out some AquaVu cameras, head over to thebasstank.com. That's thebasstank.com. If you don't know those guys, go check them out on Instagram. They are very educational folks. I know them personally, and I talk to them all the time. I pick up the phone, I call them if I have any questions with either my Lowrance, Garmin, AquaVu, Humminbird. They are very educational dudes. They're based out of Oklahoma, and they fish more than anybody I know. So go check them out at thebasstank.com and purchase yourself an AquaVu underwater camera. There's all kinds of different cameras from price range $200 all the way up to $1,200. So go check those guys out. They got a lot of different accessories. You can, like I said in the video, you can buy some really cool stuff with these cameras and get a lot of footage. Even if you're not a fisherman and you find yourself, doing ice fishing, or if it's just underwater footage or underwater photography or underwater camera, whatever it is, go check them out. You can video these things. They've got HDMI ports on them. You can plug in SD cards, all kinds of different things, and utilize these cameras for a lot of different things. So again, I appreciate you watching, and like always, guys, keep your head up, get outside often, move forward, living your dream. See you guys.